Hi first graders, we're going to do a little math today. We're going to talk about subtraction again so that you can do some of your work pages that are in your work folder. This lesson is going to be on 11-2 and 11-3, those work pages. So we're going to talk about subtraction. I want to review real quick what we've been doing with subtraction and how it's going to be new. What we've been doing with subtraction is we've been subtracting problems like 8 minus 3. We know that when we're subtracting, the numbers are always going to get smaller. We start with the biggest number and then we talk about the two parts, right? Now when we were doing it before, we said, well, you could think about counting backwards 3. You could start at the 8 and go 1, 2, 3. You could maybe say 8, 7, 6, 5, and you would know the answer. Then we said, well, another way you could do it is you could just put out 8 things and do a takeaway. That works too. You still end up at 5. Then, remember we came up with a cool plan to do a part-whole mat, and we said, well, 8 is the big number, and this is one part, 3, and we could kind of think of it as a plus. 3 plus something in the other part makes 8. We know that'd be 5. Now, how does that change with bigger numbers? Well, if you move over here, I've been thinking about how would we do 80 minus 30. Well, the first way would be to count back. And we would have to do that with a 100 chart, right? Or think of tens and ones, right? We could think of this as 8 tens, and we could think of that as 3 tens. So on a hundreds chart, I'd come over here to my monkey hundreds chart, which you'll also find in your work folder. I would start at the 80, and I would have to go up because I want my numbers to get smaller. So I'm going to go up and I'm going to go 10, 20, 30. Ooh, you can see that I ended up on 50. Maybe you already knew that from our problem. So a 100 chart can help you do that. Or you could think of it as a takeaway. You could simply say, well, 80 is 8 10 sticks. If I take away 30 of them, or 3 10 sticks, then there's 50 that aren't crossed out, or 5 10 sticks. The last way to look at it, of course, would be like a part-whole mat, where 80 is the big number, 30 is some of them, I just don't know what's in the other part. So I could think of it as a plus. 30 plus something makes 80. Well, I could draw them in there until I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you can tell the answer would be 50.